anything wrong. They may be suspicious. They may be thought to be future threats, but that is not a policy for democracy.
In a statement, Donna Lieberman of the New York Civil Liberties Union praised the move, saying, quote, innocent people stopped by the police for doing nothing more than going to school, work, or subway should not become permanent criminal suspects. In Texas, a San Antonio-based social justice group says a recent shooting at their headquarters may have been politically motivated. 1 week ago, Sunday, a member of the Southwest Workers Union was critically injured when assailants fired at least 15 rounds at the group's headquarters. The victim, James Dominique, remains hospitalized. No arrests have been made in the case, and police say they believe gang members mistakenly fired at the home. But the Southwest Workers Union says it fears the attack may have been motivated by the group's political organizing, including a recent campaign against an initiative to pass an anti-immigrant measure in Texas, similar to Arizona's. The presiding judge of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals has been given a public warning for misconduct in a closely watched case. Sharon Keller has faced scrutiny after refusing to hear a last-minute appeal from a death row prisoner scheduled to be executed that night. Keller reportedly denied an appeal from the lawyers for Michael Wayne Ruptured at 5:20 p.m. on Sunday, 25th, 2007, saying, quote, we close at 5. Richard had been on death row for 2 decades. He was killed later that night by lethal injection. In its warning, the State Commission on Judicial Conduct said Keller had, quote, cast public discredit on the judiciary. A U.S. citizen has returned home to Virginia after being stranded abroad on the government's no-fly list. 26-year-old Yahya Waheli of Fairfax, Virginia, had been stuck in Egypt for 2 months because he'd recently studied in Yemen. Waheli remains on the no-fly list but was allowed to return under a one-time waiver. The American Civil Liberties Union filed suit last month on behalf of 10 other Americans and legal residents on the government's no-fly list. Former South African President Nelson Mandela's 92nd birthday was marked Sunday with celebrations across South Africa and around the world. The United Nations General Assembly declared July 18th Nelson Mandela International Day. South African President Jacob Zuma paid tribute to Mandela at a gathering of thousands of people in the Eastern Cape Province.
It is not surprising that today we honor him jointly with the world. The 67 years of active contribution to a better South Africa has been recognized by the United Nations and is being celebrated as Nelson Mandela Day for the first time this year. We thank the world for never ceasing to recognize the successes of this nation.
And an Army appeals court has upheld the 6-month jail sentence of a former military attorney convicted of leaking the names of prisoners held at Guantanamo Bay. Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Matthew Diaz was convicted in 2007 of leaking secret national defense information for sending the list to the Center for Constitutional Rights. Diaz was awarded the Rittenhour Prize for truth-telling the following year. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace.